Number 60 from Hannasylic, Illinois, Joe Buskirk. Number 62 from Andalusia, Alabama, is Selby Holler. 64 from Turlock, California, Robert Blake. 65 from Hesperia, California, Chris Kiefer. 1, Manuel Costa. The 66 from Miami, South Florida. The 67, Tim Zebro from Ham Lake, Minnesota. Number 69, Anthony Wink from Winterset, Iowa. 70, John Gruey from Rockford, Michigan. The 72, Michael Stevenson. 80 is John Boland. 85, Ryan Stacy, Sean Kellner. The 88, the 94 of Sean Hyland, and 95 of Matt Byton. Rounds out your field of 42 megawatt, and looks like the 65 machine got the whole shot there.
Yeah, it looked like Kiefer with the early lead. I was glad to see the name Byton in there, too. Glad to see Matt Byton back here at the ranch fighting it out one more time. And look at this, already have a lead change up front. Who was that on that KTM? Putting himself in the #1 spot as we work our way through the red zone. I believe, is that the number 30? Yeah, that's Mike Brown out of Bristol, Tennessee. Yep, Mike Brown putting himself into the lead very early. John Gruey now sitting about the number 5 spot, so Gruey's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to get out there and challenge for the lead. Down into the beach we come. Mike Brown already starting to open things up just a bit. Looks like almost a 2-second lead, Rodney, as we make our way around for the first time.
Well, I know talking with John Gruey earlier in the week, and he said, he was talking about things. He says, doggone it, Mike Brown's now 50 years old, so I got to race him in that class. So here we are in the senior 40-plus class, and John Gruey, who is generally one of the top competitors in this class, finding himself with a lot of competition. I think I see him back about the 4th, maybe even further back than that. So this will be interesting to sort this one out as the senior 40-plus class. Race number 6 sorts out after 1. Mike Brown is your leader on board the number 30 KTM. Chris Kiefer, who got the whole shot, running in 2nd. Hans Neal, the 15, in 3rd. Then Michael Mercer in 4th. Rob Floth, the number 3, in 5th. Bill Fosnock, number 13, in 6th. Matt Byton in 7th. Barry Karsten.
Wow.
Ryan Tracy is 9th. Chad Roselli in 10th. John Gruey is 11th place. Gregory Paymart.
Frenchie back in 15th, bro. Come on now. This isn't how it looked the first couple corners. I thought Gruey was about the 6th or 7th position. He's got shuffled back, and Paymart, I thought he had a much better start as well. So maybe those two possibly got together in one of these corners.
Well, a lot of fresh blood in this plus 40 class. As I look down through, I see a lot of youngs like 40s and 41s and 42s and 43s in amongst some of our 56s with John Gruey right now, 48-year-olds with John Boland. How old is Barry Karsten? I know he's probably pushing the 50 range there as well.
Karsten's older than I am. I'm 55. What's it say here? 31. Barry Karsten, 55. So we're the same age. Okay, yeah. I thought he was a year older, so we're the same age.
So those guys really getting some competition now.
Racing guys 15 years younger.
Yeah, and you watch, they'll hold their own in it as well, but time will certainly tell the tale on this one.
So I didn't see Kiefer get past Brown.
I didn't either. Well, I don't think he did. I think we've got something funny going on with the race car.
Yeah, because we're showing 2 laps in for Kiefer,
yeah,
so that's not happening.
A minute and 24-second lap time.
Pretty big gap over Browning, I can tell you, on one lap.
So here we come as we check into the heart of the race course now, heading toward the Sandy Sweeper and Polysport Beach now. That takes us right to the Bermuda Triangle, which Mike Brown appears to have not much problem, if any, with.
Yeah, Mike actually used one of those middle lines. Didn't go all the way to the inside. Actually, a similar line that we see used by Hans Neal, I believe that is on the 15. Yeah, that's Hans on the 15 KTM. Not getting into that deep rut down on the inside. Not trying to make the long way around either with that outside berm. So,
well, Mike Brown just popped off a sub 2-minute lap time in this plus 40 class. This rider, again, if 50 years old, is still faster than 2 minutes a lap on the Loretta Lynn's race course.
Again, looking at 450B lap times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. FXR Racing, Munn Racing, 6D helmets, Factory Ride, and Premium Optics bring you Mike Brown here in the 2022 championship campaign. And I can't tell, is that still Kiefer back in 2nd? Or did Hans Neal move up into that number 2 spot? Let's look.
See, I thought Neal. Oh, who's down on the tunnel there? Can't get an idea. A lot of roost on that plate. Is that 28 or 26? Might be Mike Boltofson out of Argyle, Texas, on that number 26 Yamaha. I believe that's exactly who it was, having his problems right there on the tunnel.
So Brown and Kiefer and Neal, Fosnock, Floth, those are your riders. Floth, the riders, he's under a lot of pressure from Fosnock. Fosnock making some moves there on lap 2.
Floth has got people all around him. He was struggling through some of those ruts right there, and now he's got a bunch of company, Fosnock, Byton, and Carson, all coming at him. Now there we have it straightened out.
Yeah.
Brown, followed by Kiefer, Neal, Fosnock in that number 4 spot. Floth rides in 5th.
There's the 18 machine, Michael Mercer. That's another rider that we might be watching, could be on the move. Matt Byton behind him on the number 95 machine now.
Frenchie giving up a spot last time around, back into the number 16 position now, the number 43, Greg Paymart. So got a little bit of work to do. Definitely got caught up somewhere, 213 last time around. The guys ahead of him running anywhere from 209 to about 210. So Paymart got a little bit of work to do.
Well, checking in 3 deep now, it is Mike Brown, Chris Kiefer, Hans Neal, 1, 2, and 3. Brown slowing down to a 207, but still enjoying an over 5-second lead over Chris Kiefer. Kiefer and Neal both in the 205 range. Bill Fosnock, a 208, checks in 4th place. Mike Mercer now up to 5th place position, and we're watching as he is probably about a second or so faster than Fosnock and running about a second and a half back in that number 2 position. So, or in that number 3 position, 4 position actually. So this could get pretty interesting as he is trying to knock on that door. Mercer and Fosnock are going to have a battle, if not already, for a 4th place position.
Yeah, I want to see what McQuarrie's got for him too on that number 48 machine. He's sitting in that number 9 position right now, running a 208. So he's running equivalent times to those guys inside that top 6 up there. Is he going to be able to find some real estate this time around? Matt Byton now, he's moved up into the top 10. Whoa, back now into the number 11 spot. And John Gruey hanging out back there in that number 12 position. So Gruey, not sure what's going on there. Normally puts himself in very good position at the beginning of this one. But that was handled by Mike Brown, Chris Kiefer, and Hans Neal.
There you go. Watch this race right here. Barry Karsten has been battling amongst these riders, trying to get through now. Karsten was running in the 8th spot. Robbie Floth and Michael Mercer just ahead of him right now, and he has been methodically just working back there, and look at where he's putting himself in position now. We might see him break into close to, if not into, a top 5. Which, when we started looking at this at the early part of the moto, I was beginning to think, oh my, some of the guys we expected to be contenders aren't even going to be a part of the top 5, but Carson is trying to turn it around right now.
And you know, him and John Gray absolutely arch rivals down here in all these classes. And right now, the upper hand, Carson sitting on that 7, John Gray back in the 11th spot. But it's all about the number 30 of Mike Brown. We've seen this so many times in so many different races from Mike Brown. Doesn't look like he's gone that fast in the early stages, but he's just so consistent and keeps the pressure on for about 4 laps. When that happens, you're starting to break guys down at that point, and then you just consistently motor away. And Kiefer, no easy guy to motor away from, I'll promise you that.
Absolutely not. 4 laps in now. Brown, Kiefer, Hans Neal back in the number 3 spot. There's some big gaps there. Mercer's about 10 seconds back in 4th place position. Floth, but look at Floth, McQuarrie, Barry Karsten, all within a second of each other, battling for 5th place right now.
Karsten lining them up right now, and you know how he is.
Swapping out. Robbie McQuarrie goes down. And that could have been a lot worse than what it was, the way that bike washed out, man. I tell you, what a swap out there.
That was a swap. That was lock to lock on that one. He caught that rut right there. It spit him off the high side was the bad part. He didn't go down low side. It spit him clear over the top and able to get back up, get the bike picked back up. So Robbie McQuarrie taking a tough one right there, Rodney.
Well, I tell you, that kind of a favor for Barry Karsten because that makes one less that he has to battle with now, as he has got Floth right there in his sights and pulling up side by side now as we head back into Storyland.
And here comes the Bah, getting ready to put the pressure around the outside, going to make the move, Rodney.
Got that inside line now. Let's see what happens. very cleanly executed coming out of the back section. Now Barry Karsten now moves into the number 5 position.
And see the difference right there in your plus 40 guys. Floth knew what was going on, didn't challenge right there, saw the big swap. No need to take any chances right there.
Absolutely none, as Karsten again just securing a top 5 position there. Brown, Kiefer, Neal, 1, 2, and 3. Brown is in for 5 laps complete now. We are basically just past the halfway point on this one as Kiefer checks in for 2nd place position. Hans Neal is now in. Now Mercer coming through, and as we said, Barry Karsten will be right behind him. But, you know, do we have room for more change to take place is what my question is.
Well, we got plenty of time, Rodney. We got 9 minutes. I can see that. But look at this, 21 seconds, Mike Brown. And we're 5 laps in, and that gap was initially 2 seconds, then 8 seconds, then 12 seconds. You know, we talk about how smooth he is. Now, it's almost effortless to watch that gap keep growing.
This one needs him too.
How'd it go?
So Brown, as he said, pointing out a 21-second lead.
I know.
Kiefer, Hans Neal, Mike Mercer, Barry Karsten, as we said, rounding out the top 5, 9 seconds. So to see Karsten bridge much more of a gap, it's going to be a little tough. Not impossible, but when you got names like Mercer ahead of him and Hans Neal and Chris Kiefer, so even the great Barry Karsten has his limitations out here in this plus 40 class. Watching some great coverage here from a Racer TV live drone. Daniel Rogerson, man in command of the flight path out here. And we are watching, I don't think, look at this, John Gruey is now, he was running in the 11th place position up until about 2 laps ago. John Gruey is now in 7th place, and here's where the hard work pays off. A 2:08 lap time in amongst 2:13 and 2:12s. All of a sudden, John Gruey challenging the number 3 of Floth, and Floth again in that trouble and finds himself having to work for the spot. And I believe Gruey may have taken the spot as we look back up here.
Did Gruey just get past Carson?
No, I think he got past Floth.
I don't think so.
Did he get past Gruey?
Let's take a closer look.
Oh, wait a minute. You were right. He got around
John
both.
Gruey made his way around Barry Karsten and Floth on the last lap. Here comes John Gruey doing what John Gruey does.
Wow, I seen them moving up, but I didn't recognize that he had gotten around Barry Karsten
and
as
that
well.
caught Carson by surprise.
I caught us all by
I will promise
surprise.
you that, because we look up in less than a lap, Gruey goes, picks off Carson, picks off Floth. He was sitting in 12th position 2 laps ago.
Absolutely, and to see what he's been able to achieve just in the last 2 laps alone, you have to wonder what the rest of this lap has. Now, a 10-second gap up to Mike Mercer. I would have said impossible, and I said it might be for Barry Karsten. You know, he's probably just going to have to settle up. But, man, the way that John Gruey is riding right now, I won't be surprised to see that happen. Let's see what happens on the next 2 laps. It's going to tell the big story of this one. And we are getting close to seeing a 2-lap board and white flag here pretty soon also.
I want to see if Carson answers right here, because I believe he was 100% caught off guard. I think he thought Gruey was still back here in that 10th position.
Yeah,
made his way past Floth, and Carson was like, okay, the pressure's off. Not the case by any means. Let's take a look at Gruey's lap time as they come through. Very interested to see how much time he picked
2:06
up.
that last time around, believe it or not.
Wow.
So he is closing up on Mercer, but only by about a half to 3/4 of a second faster than what the last lap around was for that rider.
Hold on a second. Do I have this right? Do we have an official Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Championship? Do we have John Gruey and Barry Karsten in the same general piece of real estate in the racetrack?
Absolutely.
Then we have made it official. We have a real. You cannot have an AMA sanctioned AMA Amateur National event at Loretta's unless you get a Gruey Karsten battle. They got right into it in the first moto of the week. I appreciate that, boys.
Absolutely. So do we. You know that.
It's just a guarantee that Gruey and Karsten are going to be running nose to tail. Gruey's got a gigantic lead over him. He's got a 1.5 seconds. That's like the biggest gap they've ever had between each other.
Oh,
there they are.
Lord.
Good job, Racer TV. You just keep those cameras on Gruey and Karsten.
That's the race. Believe
every
it.
darn time. Now, I hate to say it, they're 50-plus riders racing in 40-plus. It's the same battle. but now it's for 5th and 6th.
Exactly.
Because they got these young bucks here. These guys that are 15 years younger than them.
15 years, Weege. That's
legit.
the game, yeah, for sure. Take a look at these listings right here. 40, 41, 41, 41, 40, 41, 42. So,
All those
Carson, 55 years old.
55 years old,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're watching this saying like, man, I'm surprised to see Gruy and Karsten 5th and 6th, it's because they're 55 years old in the 40-plus
Gruy,
class.
oldest guy on the track, 56.
So they're even close on age.
Exactly.
They even keep it Gruy and Karsten close
Lap
on
time, age, birthday,
everything.
They
dude.
love keeping those numbers close. Social Security numbers are only like 4 digits apart, the two of them.
That's right. Karsten trying to run him down here. Mike Brown is bombing this class. Good to see him back here. I believe the story on Brown last year, he won the title 2 years ago. He thought he was not allowed to race. His full-time job is training guys with Alden Baker. Which is a Husqvarna KTM gas group.
Right.
He goes to his area qualifier on like a Honda or something, and they're like, hey, you can't do that. So he thought they meant you can't race Lorettas. You have too much stuff to do. They were just like, no, you can do it. Just do it on a Husqvarna.
Oh, no.
So then by then he didn't make it, and he actually, there are no secrets, no favorites played to this race. He sat an alternate island last year with a #1 plate
Right.
and didn't get in.
Right.
Did not get in.
Absolutely. Yep.
He did not get in last year. He came to the race to try to defend his title. He was not. He did not qualify in the top 40. Didn't race. So now he's back. I was number 30.
Wow.
And
I just thought that was a crazy number as well. You know,
I know.
mean, where did he pick 30
He was
from?
number 3.
3.
Is that it?
For years.
That's his.
And of course, Rob Floth running the 3 this year, so.
You got to earn the 3 to run the 3 down here. So that wasn't available.
To be the 3, you got to beat the 3.
I like it.
Hey, guys, 10 a.m. to 1. Stop by.
What's happened here? We've got Chris Kiefer coming around now in the lead, unless Brown has had a problem with timing and scoring. Look at that. Brown has crashed. Brown's back to second. I'll head down to the podium. We'll sort this out.
Oh, mercy. While we get this sorted out for ourselves right now, Megawatt, we've got about 3 minutes in this, so white flag conditions, I think, is where we're at right now. But real quick, I just want to let everybody know, stop by the Oakley setup to participate in the Oakley Air Brake Challenge and win free Oakley swag, air brakes, and signed air brakes from Barsha, Tomac, and Sexton. If you can beat the Oakley Elite Amateur athletes that will be blindfolded, yes, that's right, you're racing someone that's blindfolded at changing Oakley lenses for a chance to win at a pair of free Oakley air brakes. I think that's pretty cool.
Rodney, this is going to be so cool. I talked to Torch about this last evening. We were getting ready to read that. I'm glad you did, because these guys are absolutely, the elite athletes are going to be blindfolded, taking on challengers all day long with that air brake challenge, and going to work your way up through the rankings. So as you knock off one guy and knock off the next guy, the prizes are going to get better and better. So a lot of fun from Torch and the guys down there at Oakley this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thanks to you, Torch. Appreciate you. And again, be sure and stop by the Oakley display. Right now, Mike Brown, the number 30, as we said, issues took him back to, a 2:48 lap time. That only left him a gap of 8.6 seconds and probably about 2 laps to go with that being said. So you have to wonder, will he be able to get the fast laps and turn it in? But
Mike Brown back to the lead now, shows white flag out.
I was wondering, I didn't know if that had even actually happened.
I gotta wonder, but he's telling me the white flag now.
I think we were just.
Kiefer can't be that far back.
I think it was just timing and scoring.
So yeah, Kiefer can't be that far back. There's no way.
No.
So here we go on the screen now. Who are we getting a look at? On both sides. Now, did something happen to Kiefer? Because on both sides now we're showing Brown on top.
So here we are, final lap, and we're getting ready to head into the final lap, if not in the final lap already. So I believe we do have the white flag out. We are about 30 seconds out from a checker flag, and the number 30 of Mike Brown leading this one. And I believe that there may have been some mistakes being handed out there in our race call. But regardless, Kiefer back to the number 2 spot. Hans Neal in 3rd. Michael Mercer is 4th. And the ever tenacious John Gruey back in the number 5 spot with his shadow. Barry Karsten in 6th, Shane Kellner in 7th, Rob Floth is 8th, Ryan Tracy in 9th, and Robert Blake rounding out the top 10.
So Carson able to match the lap of John Gruey, 2:11, but the damage already done.
Yeah.
About 4 seconds is the gap. So Gruey caught him all by surprise, coming from that 13th position, putting himself into great championship overall position with that 5 spot right now, the number 70 Kawasaki of John Gruey.
So Brown through the Bermuda Triangle and past the checkers for a Moto 1 win in the senior 40-plus class. A 2:07 lap time that last time around.
I got to tell you, that one got as confusing as Chinese arithmetic right there, I can tell you.
Well, the one thing that you got to do, you cannot take your eyes off the racetrack. You lose these guys, and as
You live by the monitor, you die by
you live, exactly, you die, but you got to be able to watch both. So we might have got bitten there just a little bit. But Chris Kiefer, I believe, going to come across in 2nd, about 32 seconds back. Hans Neal, another 15 or so back in the number 3 spot. Then Mike Mercer and John Gruey. Gruey probably didn't bridge that gap. Mike Brown down there. That was an interesting story, though. I thought that Jason told about the Honda and everything. He said, you can't do that. And he thought meant couldn't go to the... So good to see him be able to come back and redeem himself back here at the ranch once again and win another championship.
Mikey, he says he's ready for Super Mini 2.
So I think Jason Wigan is headed down. Right now we are getting ready for Mini Senior 2, 13 to 15-year-olds. Those guys will be taking to the track for their sighting lap here in just a moment. Mike Brown is ready.
Mike Brown's always ready.
Absolutely.
Yep, he's ready to go another 10 minutes, so we'll just bring him up to the podium right now. He doesn't care. Here it is, gold medal. Welcome back to Loretta Lynn's Ranch, Mike Brown. I know you and Chris Kiefer are pretty good buddies off the track. Now you're getting to square off. How was that moto for you?
It was good. I got a good start with Chris there, and I switched to a different bike this year, and I think it helped me physically and mentally ride the bike a little bit better. But still, he's a great rider, and the last thing I think I raced him, he put it to me about like that there. So he's back in Tennessee.
Yeah. You got some home turf here. How do you squeeze in all this riding and stuff? You're a trainer. You're not supposed to be a racer. How do you get it all done?
Started 2 weeks ago, literally. You can ask anybody around. I haven't put 6 hours on my bike since last August. And if it wasn't for my mechanic, Joel, back there, Eldon, ride. And he don't know that I want to be out there getting smoked by the fast guys. But I put the work in the last 2 weeks as much as I could, and it's working. And I just got to thank them guys. You know, if it wasn't for Eldon letting me do this, I wouldn't be here for sure because it's not my job. And I enjoy it. It helps me stay focused on the track with these guys I have here. I have Casey and Dax and Talon here. So now maybe I can speak to them for a few lines and help those guys get up here too.
That's a good idea. All right, Mike Brown, who else do you want to thank, man?
FXR for sure. Mun Racing for getting me the bike last minute. Like I said, I was Husky forever and couldn't find me one. Got me a KTM last week, rode it 2 days, and I'm here racing it. So those guys, Dunlop tires, 6D, factory ride goggles, Alpine Star, FMF, Dunlop, Oakley, no, not Oakley, Dub Wheels, Pro Taper, and that's it. You know, it's been a long road, and I enjoy it. And each year it gets harder. You know, I set off the bike more, so it makes it harder to come back, but I still enjoy it when I'm on the track.
And up on the podium, too. Let's hear it for the gold medalist, Mike Brown. Awesome to have you back this year. We'll get the silver medal on up and the bronze as well. We got Chris Kiefer in second and Hans Neal in third. Let's bring up Chris Kiefer and talk silver medal and a Stasic Whole Shot Award. So let's hear it for the man from California. He's logged a lot of laps. Let's hear it for Chris Kiefer. Now look, Loretta's is important always, but you and Brownie are buddies. So does it make it a little bit different because you're going head to head?
Yeah, it pisses me off. So last time we met was at Glen Helen, and I got the better of him, but I know this is his Glen Helen, so I'm kind of SOL here. But he did say if Kiefer beats me he is done racing for good. So my goal is to retire Brownie here.
Hey, I'm a wrestling guy. I love it. This is a retirement match. I like it, Kiefer. There's some motivation for you.
Yeah, there's no motivation. The guy is so good. Like, it's he's like a mentor to me, and I've looked up to him in all my life. And I was never good as Brownie, so when I come here and I get second behind him, it's an honor to race with him. And these other guys, they all bust their butt just like we do. So it's a fun weekend. Where it started out yesterday was really bad. I was super emo. Yes.
Really? Why? How come?
I just rode like crap, Weech.
Here we go.
So, as you know, we're mental basket cases.
Yeah.
So
Delicate flowers.
we turned it around thanks to my beautiful wife, Heather, my son, Aiden, that keeps me young, my guy at home, Eddie Larrett, and all my training buddies, David Martinez, and, of course, thanks to the Pascal family for driving our stuff out so we could be factory and fly.
Yeah, you're big time. Who do you want to thank? And I heard you got a helmet sticker that I must make you mention, by the way.
First off, senior citizen,
Well done.
Randy Richardson,
Well done.
put a sticker on there. So thanks to him, thanks to Yamaha Motor Corporation, KYB, Dunlop Motorsports, and FXR Racing, of course, 6D helmets. There's a lot of you guys out there. You guys know I appreciate you. I'm tired of shit right now, so I'm going to go to rest.
All right, he almost made it without a cuss word. Almost. Let's hear it for Chris Kiefer. Oh, that's always good stuff. We'll get Hans Neal up here, third place. Such a fun class with a lot of guys that we've known through the years, and they've always got good stories to tell. I'll bring you out front so they can see all your logos. Let's hear it for our bronze medalist, Hans Neal. How'd that one go for you?
Oh, it's terribly hot, and I haven't been training enough.
Okay.
I figured that out just now. So,
Was this one of those deals you were hoping? I mean, you know Loretta's going to be tough. Were you hoping it would be okay?
oh yeah, wing and a prayer. Maybe those two guys will go down or something. Hope not, but anything can happen. It's Loretta's. Everybody just keep pushing and having fun.
Yep. Awesome, Hans. Who do you want to thank for a bronze?
Factory Jack Doyle, he's staying right there in the front. Randy Richardson, my wife Kelly, my daughter Andy. There's been so many people throughout the past 30 years. Chip Munn, Al Allbiker, who passed away this year, and just a lot of people. Mom and Dad.
Still going. Mom and Dad still helps, even in 40 plus.
They're too nervous to come now, but that was all my fault.
Yeah, exactly. Don't scare people. All right, Hans Neal takes third. That is 40 plus.